So JavaScript is a scripting language. Originally, it was called as LiveScript. That got developed in the Netscape. With Netscape, actually, initially, it got developed. Have you heard of Netscape Navigator browser? Long back, we used to use it. Netscape Navigator. Okay. So with the Netscape Navigator, they developed a LiveScript. It was called as LiveScript at the time. But see, they improved many features of this particular LiveScript with the help of the Java community. So Java is from Sun Microsystems. They developed actually Java language there. Okay. So who developed Java language? All of you know well, I think. So Java was developed by James Gosling, we say. So James Gosling, opposite to his office, actually, his desktop, there is an oak tree. By looking at oak tree, he has developed Java language. So that's why initially he wanted to name it as Oak. Okay, it was basically for set-top boxes. Initially, they developed for set-top boxes. But at that time, we did not have the smart TVs. In 1995, Java was developed in 1990. First time it was released in 1995. So at the time, we did not have these smart TVs. Having color TV was great at the time. We never had smart TVs at the time. So basically for set-top boxes, he wanted to create it. Since there were not smart TVs at the time, he changed it to general purpose, a programming language. Okay. So Mozilla initially worked with Java because Java community or Java developers from the Sun Microsystems, they helped a lot. As a gratitude, they named it as JavaScript. So with it has become famous. Just like JavaScript, we have one more type of script. It's called as VBScript. VBScript runs only in the Edge and in the Internet Explorer because this is from the Microsoft. Only in Microsoft products it works. That means in the Internet Explorer or in the Edge it works. But JavaScript works everywhere. In all the browsers it works. So that is the beauty of JavaScript. See, JavaScript is not actually any particular tool kind of thing. We need not download it. It's part of browser. People who develop browser, they have to develop JavaScript also. Okay, suppose somebody is developing actually, say, browser. So it is their responsibility to add JavaScript into that. So that means it's inbuilt. Already in the browser it is available. Just you need to write the script. With that script, it should work. So this is what it's a scripting language. And initially it was called as ActiveScript. So ActiveScript we call it. LiveScript. Then later on it changed to JavaScript. Okay, so it is a like scripting language. It's not any compiler. It's an interpreter. For example, you take Java. Java is a compiler. C# is a compiler. C++ is a compiler. But JavaScript is not a compiler. JavaScript belongs to, C family of languages. So syntax and everything is something similar to C language. Okay, but it's not a C language. It's actually not a compiler. It is a interpreter. Okay, so with the help of this JavaScript, we can make actually the web dynamic. To make the web pages dynamic, so JavaScript is needed. So the core things in the web is, in a web page is the content we get with HTML, then CSS, other thing is what? JavaScript. And JavaScript, if you want to turn off, you can turn off from the browser, but interactivity you lose if you turn off the, say, JavaScript feature. So JavaScript, if you require, you can use it. Otherwise, you can actually turn off in the browser. In the browser, you can turn off the scripting. So with that, it will not work. But if it does not work, then you lose actually much functionality. The dynamics of the pages you lose. These days, it is used very heavily. Everywhere people are using JavaScript a lot. Okay. So as I told, it's a scripting language and it is a interpreter. JavaScript is nothing but interpreter. So where do we write JavaScript code? JavaScript code always we write in the script tag. You need to have a script block. In the block you need to write. That can be anywhere. That can be the header part, or that can be anywhere in the body also. Wherever you want to write, you can write. So you can write like this. Here, this is what a style element. Then in the style, I put here script. Then I can write the language, JavaScript code I can write here. I can put something like script here. Then I want to go with some message. Say alert. Alert is nothing but a dialog box. In the JavaScript it is available. I write like welcome to JavaScript. I put something like this, welcome to JavaScript I put, then I put a semicolon, just like C language it is. So we put like this, see, language like Python, they don't use semicolon to separate the statements. Statement is exactly what? Statement is something like sentence in English. In English we say sentences, but in the programming language we say it as statements. So statements are written using tokens. So here this is the statement, alert, welcome to JavaScript. When I load the page, automatically this runs here. And you get alert with this welcome to JavaScript you get when I run this page. Now let me run this here. Okay, I'm going to run this. It says welcome to JavaScript. Before all the elements are added, loaded, what is happening? First script is running. So it is not running after loading all the elements. These elements are not loaded, before that only it's running. Now I can change this particular script into bottom of the page. What happens in that case? Let us see. We come to body part. In this body part now I put this. Okay, so you have to have script starting tag and script closing tag. Closing tags they end with slash, as we know, less than slash script. Like this we define here. Now when we render this, okay, so here also in the same way, but what happens here? The entire body first of all comes. Body first of all loaded, then the script has to be running there. So how it loads further you can see. Instead of saying welcome to JavaScript, okay, I want to print something from the ID. So where I have kept ID, somewhere I kept ID. ID is say I have some name called as ID here. Inside this I have a block level element I have. So this I want to show as here. I want to show in the alert this particular thing. ID is what? Name. Therefore I come to script here. I would like to print it. Here what I say, I can type here. Using JavaScript I should access this HTML element. Therefore I write document dot get element by ID. I write like this, get element by ID. Then in that whatever text I have, I can actually access. What is the ID? This is name. I type here name. Then after that I go with the text. Inside this I have text. I should go with here inner text. I write this as inner. Here I write inner text. So when I type here like this, it should actually print whatever text we have inside this. I am not a block level element, that has to be printed in this when I say inner text. Now run this, how it works. It says I am not a block level element. Okay, and it is getting printed here. So what is happening? After document is loaded, it is getting printed. Same piece of text if I remove into the header part, what happens? See. I come to header part. So here I want to put it. After style, I can go with the script part. This time it is going to be showing error for us. I try to refresh. What is happening here? Nothing is happening, it's giving error. So how can you see errors? You can right click in this, then go to inspect, and in the console you can see uncaught type error, cannot read property, inner text of null. Okay, so you are not getting anything, inner text of null, it is nothing but error because the ID is not available so far for us. The page is not created. The script is running before, adding DOM. DOM means document object model we say. So from here document starts. So before loading document itself, we are trying to call the JavaScript. So therefore it is error. Script alert document dot get element by ID name inner text, when we say here it is giving error because the page is loading from here. It is loading, and whenever it encounters this particular script tag, it's executing straight away. The code is getting executed. But inside this, what we are doing, document dot get element by ID name. So using name, we are trying to get the element. We are getting the hold of the element, and in that whatever inner text we have, we are trying to retrieve. So what happens with that? It gives error because so far this is not available in the document. It is not loaded. So once this is loaded, the element is available, but this is not loaded in the browser. So therefore it gives error. And here what we are getting, we get a console. So console meaning is what? It's one of the objects. For debugging purpose, we can use it. For debug purpose, we can use this one. Console.log, when we say, you can see here the debug. That means instead of going with alert, you can go with console. So alert is nothing but dialog box. It stops, further rendering, it stops. Okay. So instead of that, we can go with the console.log. Here it is going to print. We call this as console. So console.log means it logs information into this window. So what happened here now? It is unable to get the element. So it is nothing but null. Same thing if I move now after this particular thing. I say Control X. Now I put here in the body after element is loaded. Now here what is happening? Element is getting loaded. So element is available. Because of that, when it is running script here, it is available. So therefore without error, it works. Now see, I am not a block level element. It says like this, it is working. So here we are adding some behavior using JavaScript. Okay, so this is actually a JavaScript simple piece I have written. In between the script tags, I have written this. Alert is what? Alert is a basic dialog box. It is prompting us. It's showing something, some message we are getting from the alert. So these are called as actually message boxes. Alert is one message box. Confirm is another message box. Prompt is actually one more message box. We have 3 message boxes in the JavaScript. So alert is one such message box. It informs something else. When you click on the OK button, the dialog box gets actually dismissed. So like this we have written in the script. Okay, so script.document alert document.get element by ID name. It gives you the hold of the object. You are getting the object here. So once you get the hold of object using inner text property, this is called a property here. You are retrieving the text whatever is written in the span. So like this we can retrieve the text from the element and we can render here. So in the script tag we have written it. Okay, now what I do, I comment it. Anyone have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now I want to add something to the script. As I told just now, I want to add comments. How can we add comments? Using here I added some comment. If you go to this part, I added some comment in the CSS. So CSS commenting, we use star slash star, then comment we put star slash. This is the styling for CSS. Now suppose I want to style the HTML. How can I style it? Sorry, how can I comment it? I can comment like this. This is less than exclamation. This is HTML body I put. Okay, this is HTML body. Then what I do, I can go like this. So this is called as comment. HTML content you can comment using this kind of thing. So this is called as commenting. Why do we need commenting? What is the necessity of commenting? Commenting actually improves readability. Okay, whatever language you may choose, depending on the language, in different ways you actually go for commenting. Sometimes use single line, sometimes multi-line you use. Suppose in the C language, you can go with slash slash for single line comment. For multiple lines, we use slash star. Then you can put comments. End of the comment you can mark using star slash, as I am doing in the CSS. Same kind of thing we do in the C language for multi-line commenting. In the C, in the C++, in the Java, in the C#, in JavaScript, we use same thing. Okay, so this is what multi-line comment we can say. This is nothing but multi-line commenting. Okay, similarly in the Python, how we can go with commenting, using hash key we can comment in Python language. So depending on the language, we use actually different way of commenting things. Okay, so here commenting is very, very important always. So without commenting, the code is not readable. Why we have to, why it should be readable? See, you are developing some piece of software today for a particular company. You may not be working with the same project in the same company, or you may not be sticking to same company. You may leave the company, you may go to another company in the future. So in such case, what happens if you don't put comments, whatever code you write? So definitely others can't understand easily. But when you put comments, others can follow very easily that piece of code. Commenting improves readability. Not only for others, even today you work for some time on that piece of code. Then after 4 or 5 months, you came back to same project on the same code you may be working. At that time, you may not recall properly why you have written that piece of code. You may not remember. This also happens. This is also possible. Therefore, when you put comment easily, you can recall that. If the code is written by you, you can recall easily. If it's not written by you, if it is going, somebody else is going through your code. So in such cases, they can understand easily when you have the comments. Comment improves actually readability of the code. We need to stick to some principle. Whatever code you write, that should be very, very simple. It should be straightforward. It should be very simple. Writing complex code is not great. People have a false notion that writing complex code is great, something like that. If code cannot be understood by somebody else, it's great. Somebody feels like that. Some people, they think like that. This is absolutely wrong. Code should be very simple. It should be readable by others. Okay, when others understand your code, you are a good programmer. You write quality code. If others can't understand, your code doesn't have quality. So always write code which has quality. Very first important thing that is readability. Readability is always very, very important in my opinion. Okay, so comments actually improve. And what we do actually, whenever you take programming, when you take projects these days, one person cannot do, multiple people involved in that. Suppose you develop some piece of code, I develop some piece of code, whatever code I did, I may have to share with you. Whatever you have done, I may have to use your code. So in such cases, what happens if there are no comments? Understanding my code for somebody is difficult. Similarly, the other person is not putting comment. I cannot understand that. Okay, so in that way, what happens? There can be confusion. When you work in a collaborative manner, definitely your programming should have comments. It should have readability. So it's very, very important. And coding also, all of you have to follow same coding style. You declare a variable. If one is using camel case, all others also use camel case, that would be good in naming. I am saying, okay, example I said. So we have to follow certain standards in coding. You can write in your own way. Somebody else can write in that person's way, but that may be leading to some confusion. Code may work, but understanding and readability will not be that good. So therefore, we have to follow certain standards. Naming conventions we need to follow. Coding conventions we need to follow. With that, we have to write code, then everyone can easily understand. To improve readability, definitely, we have to stick to certain standards. So we say it as coding standards. We have to follow them. When you follow them, definitely, your work becomes more productive. See, individual cannot contribute these days much. Like a team only you can do always. So if you work in a team, definitely you can achieve so much. So therefore, you have to work in a team, and everyone should work to the goal of, completing the project in the right way and a better way. So that's very, very important. For that, important thing is having readability factor. Second thing is maintaining standards in writing the code. Whatever language it may be Python, it may be Java, it may be C++, it may be whatever it is. So you need to follow certain guidelines. I mean, they should be set before project is launched normally. As per that, if you code, then that can be better code. So commenting is therefore very, very important. Comments always you have to put. Now I can add some comment in the script. Okay, the script, what I do, I can put some comment. Okay, like this is sample script. Like this, I can put a comment. This is what a single line comment. I can go with the multi-line comment also. That means multiple lines you can have. So in such cases, we go with the /*. I can write multi. Then I come into this one line. I can come to one more line. Then I put comment. Like this also, you can put it. This is called as multi-line comment. Comment can be spanning more than one line. Over one line, it can be spanning. So such comments can be called as multi-line comments. Whereas this is what here, it's a single line comment. You can do single line or you can go with multi-line comment depending on the requirement. And if you want to make your core code more and more readable, go with multi-line comment. So in one line, if it is not succinct, that means clearly if you cannot describe, then try to go with multi-line comments. Multi-line comments always improve the readability of the code in a clear way. So single line also they improve, but it is not that clear actually. Overall you put there, but if you want to explain detail, go with the multi-line comment. So this is about actually commenting. The next thing is, in every programming language, we have a concept called data types. Okay, every language has certain data types. Same way, here also we have some data types in the JavaScript. Very first thing is number. When we talk about number, there are two types of numbers in the JavaScript. One is absolute. Other one is what? Approximate. Okay, absolute and approximate. In the absolute, integers come. In the approximate, floating point numbers come. Floating point numbers always may not be complete. They may be approximate only. They cannot be absolute. Always they cannot be absolute. So sometimes what happens, approximately you have to take value. So that's why we call it as approximate numbers. Numbers can be absolute or it can be approximate. Absolute means, suppose 10 by 2, when you say, you get absolute value. So whenever you go with the absolute, suppose you take 10 by 2, you get 5, which is nothing but absolute. But when you take approximate 10 by 3, so you can never get actually, absolute value. Therefore, that can be approximate. Then we have strings. Okay, so strings also we have in the JavaScript. A string is nothing but which you write in either single quote or in double quotes. You may put in single quote or you may put in double quote. This is called as a string. So whenever you put something in single quote or double quote, it's string. But numbers, how they are, like it is 100, then 200.3. So these can be numbers. But when you work with the strings, string either in single quote or in double quotes, you can put. Both are actually acceptable. Okay. In the Python also same thing. Either you can put in single quotes or you can put in double quotes. But in the C language, C++, Java, C#, you need to put in double quotes. You have to put only in double quotes. And apart from that, we have actually here certain special characters called as escape sequence. We may write /A. This is called as alert. /B is backspace. /N is what? New line. /T is what exactly? Tab character. Okay. So /R is here carriage return. So like this we say, these are called as special purpose characters. They have some meaning. So these are called as escape, backslash characters also. /A, /B is backspace, /N is enter key, /T is actually tab key, /R is going to be return, carriage return we say. So like this, we have certain special characters we put in the backslash characters we say. So we write them /A, it gives you sound alert basically. So such characters are also we have. Strings are nothing but group of characters which we write in single quote or we write in the double quotes. So strings also we have in the JavaScript. Then we have Boolean type of data. So Boolean meaning is what? Either true or false. Either true or false. This is called as here Boolean. Okay, we call this as Boolean. Then we have null. So null meaning is what? You declared a variable, but you haven't assigned, you might have assigned something, so that can be null. I write something like this, where x equal to, I can put null. Null means what? It is a null object. In the Java also we have such thing. In the C also we have null. In the C++ we have. In those languages also we have null. Null is nothing but nothing. Okay. In the Python, what we call it? We call it as none, N-O-N-E. So in the JavaScript we say it as null. In the Python we call it as N-O-N-E, none. We say in the Python it as none. None means what? It is not referring anything. So it is called as a null object here. Similarly, we have nothing. So nothing meaning is undefined. So when you say undefined, it may be like where I put p. When I put where p is undefined here. I have declared variable, but it's no data in that. I haven't associated any data. So therefore, I declared a variable is available, but it is not defined properly. So p is what here? Undefined. I can say this particular thing as undefined. Okay. So similarly, we have here similarly we have here symbol. One more type of thing we have is called a symbol. Symbol meaning is what? It is for unique identifier. Whenever you want to create a unique identifier, you can use symbol. We'll discuss about symbol later on, I mean in detail. But these are the types of data available. Numbers, strings, boolean, then we have null. One more thing is undefined. So these are 7 types available for us. Okay, numbers is one type, strings another type, boolean one more type we have, null, undefined, then one more thing is what here, symbol. Like these 7 different types of data is available for us. So now we work with some data in this. Just a minute, please. Sorry. Okay. So these are the 7 types of data available for us. So using these 7 types, we can handle data inside this, inside the JavaScript. Okay. So let us try to work on this data now. How to declare a variable? Let us see in this. I try to show you console how to use it. Now here in this, it's a script block. In the script, I declare var then num. Then here I want to print it console.log num. What happens? Let us see. Similarly, console.log I put this as type of num. What type of data it is I want to print. So what do we get? Let us see this. Now I refresh this. So it says undefined. Both are undefined because there is no data associated with this. If you look at this, console.log num. So num is what? It is declared. We don't have any value here for this. That's why it says undefined. Similarly, console.log type of num, when I say undefined, because there is no type associated, so it says here undefined. Okay, so sometimes what happens, we face problems like this. In the C also, we declare a pointer variable without assigning any object to that, without assigning any memory. We try to use in the program. That is going to crash your system. System crashing means only software crash, not hardware crash. It crashes the software. So those problems we face if you don't assign a value. Here I declared a variable num, okay, but I haven't assigned any value. So therefore, it is saying here undefined. 2 times it's saying undefined. Now here what I do, I change the value for it. Okay, I can change the value for it. Here I write num equal to say some 10. Now I go with the type of thing. What happens? See. Okay, I come to this point and try to print here 10. What happens here in this case? We refresh it. Now it says number. This time what is happening? I have assigned value. Therefore, it says it as number here. Type of data is what exactly? Number. You can see here clearly in the console part, number we have here sample.html in line number 45. So it is giving like this. when I go with the type of, so type of num, it's printing it as number. In the same way, now if I assign some other value, num equal to, I put here this as JavaScript. What happens in such cases? See, now again I want to go with console.log type of num. So is it error or not? See in this. Now I saved this. When I try to run here, this one, this type it says string. So is it type safe? We don't have type safety. Yesterday I was saying about type safety. So there is no type safety here. First, I have taken num equal to 10. Okay, in that case, it is inferring it as number. Now when I change type of data here, this can be a problem. So you cannot assign once you declare it as number, you should be assigning only numbers. If you try to assign string, it should not allow, but it's allowing here that particular thing. So that's why what we say, JavaScript is not type safety language. We don't have the type safety in this. First of all, we are not associating any with any particular type here. So that's why we call it as loosely typed language. We are writing var num. Okay, so to the num there is no data, it says undefined, that is fine. But here what I have done, num equal to 10 I have written. After that, it is printing saying it as num is what number type of data. But when I write num equal to JavaScript, when I try to see here console.log type of num, what it's saying there, it is saying it as string. So this is strange. Same variable cannot be behaving in two different ways at the same time. So this is what it is missing here, type safety. In JavaScript, we miss actually type safety. To avoid such problems, they have made another language called TypeScript. So these days, in all full stack applications, they use TypeScript. Like React or Angular, they use the TypeScript because it guarantees you, first of all, the typing. So it is strictly typed language when compared with the JavaScript. So what is happening here? We face a problem in this. The problem is what exactly? Here we initially assigned 10, later on we changed it to JavaScript. It's a number, whereas this is what, it's a string here. So, I mean, this is wrong actually. It should be always number. As long as program is running, the type should be 10 only, number only. But here we are changing the type. It's becoming here string. So this may have advantages, but normally this may lead to many disadvantages. So this can be a problem. Okay, so that's why we call it as a loosely typed language. We call this as loosely typed language, and programmer always have to remember to assign same type of data to that. Otherwise, this can be crashing the application. So therefore, num equal to JavaScript, it is accepting. We have written initially 10, but it's accepting JavaScript. Therefore, we call this as a loosely typed language, and there is no type safety in this. We don't have any type safety as far as JavaScript is concerned. Yesterday, the other day also we were discussing about type safety. In the TypeScript you have type safety, but in the JavaScript you don't have that type safety. So type safety we miss in this particular thing. Now next thing, what I do in this, I can take here num equal to, this time I put 123.45, something like this. Okay, now I try to go with the type of num. So this time also it prints it as num only. It prints this as num. When I run this again, what it says, number, then string, again number it is saying. That means what? You can change, you can add, you can assign whatever type of data you want to add, you can add here. So this can be a problem actually. When you write actually some serious code, at that time that may introduce some problems, some bugs it may introduce to our code. So we have to be very careful as far as this feature is concerned. The next thing is what? True or false. I write here var. Okay, so what I do in this, var x equal to, I write this as num equal to 10. I put something like this. Now I want to print here alert. Okay, then x I put here. Then after that, I want to go with its type, alert, type of x. So what it says, see in this. When I put something like this, it prints here. X equal to what it prints, it should say false, and type of x is what here, boolean, it has to print for us. Okay, here what I'm using, since I'm using alert, it gives like this, but instead of alert I can go with console.log. So in that case, it comes on the console. So which one is advantage for us? Console.log is advantage or alert? Alert actually disturbs us. Every time we need to we need to dismiss the window. So that can be a problem. Similarly here, I go with the console.log. I write once again here also console.log. Then type of X, when we say, it should say Boolean. Now run this. It says what? False and Boolean. It says exactly what it is. Type of data is Boolean. So like this, it is working. Okay. So whenever I write var x equal to num equal 10, this is what called as equality operator. In the C you have, in the Python also you have this kind of thing. So var x equal to num equal 10. So this returns a true value. Both of them are 10. Otherwise, what it does, it's going to give it as say false. So what we get in this, we are getting this as false here. X equal to what? Value is false, then it is Boolean type of data. Okay, fine.